SBSD is dying. But why is SBSD dying? Well, that's what I'm going to talk about today. If we go into a website called Monitor, which is a website for checking Roblox games' stats, we can find these 4 graphs for SBSD. Now, if we go to this first one, which shows the daily visits for SBSD, nothing really seems wrong. They're getting a good amount of visits for their size, and they're not really dropping rapidly, and they're not rising fast either. But the second one is where the problems start. This graph is for CCUs, which, if you didn't know, stands for concurrently connected users, aka how many people are playing the game at one time. Now, it's not dropping too much, but what I'm showing is only for the last 14 days. Sadly, we can't go further back than this in Monitor, but I'm pretty sure the game had more players than this a couple months back. Now onto the third one. This one is for time spent in-game per session. Basically, how long you play the game before leaving. As you can see, it has been dropping rapidly, which means the game is getting less fun. People don't want to play the game as long as they used to, and that's one of the biggest signs of a game dying. And lastly, probably the worst one for the devs. This graph shows in which spot the game is for top earning all across Roblox, or as you could also call it, how much they earn. And if you look at the graph, they have been going down really quickly, which means less money. And less money means they can hire less developers, and with no developers, there are no more updates. Which gets me into my next topic, the updates. To say the last update was massive is an understatement, but you know what else is massive? Okay, but seriously, the last update was one of the best things we got in SBSD. We basically got 4 new game modes, 2 new characters, with one of them being one of the most anticipated characters ever, and on top of that, they reworked many of the old boxes. The updates before that, well, they weren't that good. For example, one of the updates was literally just minor reworks for beginner characters, and another update gave us 1 new character and 1 new map, and I could keep naming bad updates. You might be saying, well, that's in the past, because if they're making good updates now, then the old updates don't matter, right? Well, since the next update is coming out around New Year's, which is not long since the last update, plus we haven't gotten any crazy leaks, the developers are likely going back to the smaller updates, like 5.1, 5.2, and so on. And those weren't the best. When you also take into consideration that they still released about a month apart from each other, it is not looking good for the updates. Okay, I think we can all agree that SBSD's gameplay loop gets boring after a while. If you beat everything in the game, the only thing left for you to do is to get every single character, and trust me, no point grind is worth it. Because in the end, you're not going to use 90% of the characters you buy. I think you've heard enough of me, so we're going to hear out some people from my Discord server that play SBSD. Also, if you want to join the Discord and get opportunities to participate in videos, you can click the link in the description. Now, let's hop into our first interview. This is Ji Xiaohe. He's been playing SBSD for around 2 years, and also has played in the STSD days. Hello.
Hello.
How many times per day would you say you play SBSD?
3 times. I get 3,000 every time.
How long is your average playtime?
Like 1 hour, or even 5.
Would you say you have gotten pretty far into the game?
Yeah man, I got that beta tester badge.
I meant more of like, do you think you have good characters?
Yes, and game passes.
Are you subscribed to Jacked Up Gaming?
Yes sir, with notification.
Yes sir, big W indeed. You should be subscribed as well, and turn on those notifications. Do you think the game is dying?
Kinda, because it got like 1,000 actives right now, and you don't play it that often too.
Very true. What do you think of some of the recent updates?
Good, but not better than the old days.
Do you think the game is dying because of the updates or for a different reason?
I think the haters is just hating on the Game Passes because Game Passes characters are strong.
And do you think the game is pay to win?
No, because there is more free to win.
What would you do if the game had no more players? Would you still play from time to time or quit?
I would quit because it's no fun no more. Because I learned how to communicate to other players in this game.
This is just a normal player. He's been playing SBSD for around 2 to 3 years, and he's also played back in the SBSD days. Hello.
Hi.
How many times per day would you say you play SBSD?
Quite a few. I can't give an exact answer because it changes based on what I'm doing IRL, but I'd say normally 5 times.
Would you say you have gotten pretty far into the game?
Yeah.
What do you think of some of the recent updates?
Well, the campaign mode is pretty cool, but I am sort of wondering why they are taking things from Ultra Kill and putting it in SBSD.
Do you think the game is dying?
Sort of. It is slowly dying, but as soon as it updates, the player count goes up.
Why do you think the game is slowly dying?
Well, I guess players are just finding it not fun or repetitive.
What would you do if the game had no more players? Would you still play from time to time or quit?
I probably would play it a few times, but not that much.
This is SilverX. He's been playing SBSD since the 3rd update ever. Hello.
Hello.
How many times per day would you say you play SBSD?
Like twice a day, sometimes once.
Would you say you've gotten pretty far into the game?
Yes, I invested a lot of time into the game.
What do you think of some of the recent updates?
Their quality are significantly higher than back then.
Do you prefer the smaller updates that release fast or the bigger ones that take longer?
I prefer the bigger ones that take more time as it gives me time to play other games other than SBSD. Plus it has more content to explore, of course.
Do you think the game is dying?
I do think it has less players than before, but it still has a lot of people, so no.
Do you think the game having less players is because of the updates or a different reason?
I think the main reason was that when the game got copyrighted, a lot of people forgot about it and didn't care to play when it came back. Some of the updates are quite blank sometimes, so it could be that too.
What would you do if the game had no more players? Would you still play from time to time or quit?
I would play it when I was bored, or to feel some nostalgia back when it was big.
Thank you to all the people that participated in the interviews. Now, whatever he was going to say isn't important. What is important is that you only have a limited time to get the limited Christmas merch. Head into the description to buy it before January 1st.
Please, here's my family.
Shut up! You can get this one for 5 Robux and this one for 10. Now back to the video. I'm not sure what that was all about, but you should probably listen to it. Anyway, I think these interviews really prove my point. For example, the answers to "Is the game dying?" were mostly yes, and the answers to "Is the game dying due to the updates?" was mostly no. So that basically says that the game was doomed from the start. No amount of updates can get the player count up to where it used to be, because it's not the updates, it's the overall gameplay of SBSD that's getting boring. But in conclusion, the game isn't going to die tomorrow, and it's not going to die a month from now, because the game doesn't die out of the blue. So don't worry, SBSD is safe. For now. Hope you guys did enjoy this video. Sorry for it taking so long, but the interviews weren't easy to plan. Anyway, remember to subscribe, join the Discord server, buy the limited time merch. And while you're down in the description, go ahead and join the Roblox group. Now it's time for me to say goodbye. Thanks for watching the video till the end. If you want to check out my links, you can do so in the description, or you can click one of these things on the screen right now. Anyways, see ya!